Good morning, friends. Welcome to After GMS. We just went live here on the News 2 Facebook page. We know several of you just hopped on or are in the process, and we even have a new viewer joining us from Colorado. That is the beauty of this digital newscast. We have sometimes viewers from all over the place joining us, so we thank you for making us part of your day. I'm Megan Maleras alongside Stacey Spivey and Christian Morgan.
And I talked about this on the feed. The music was kind of a calm, like setting the calm mood for the show this morning. But the weather is not going to stay calm for too long, right, Christian?
No, not too much. You know, right now things are pretty calm across the Triad. And if you look at the radar, there's actually not too much on it. There have been a few of these downpours, mainly in some of our southern and eastern counties. That would be Montgomery County, Randolph County, and then over into Chatham and Alamance County as well. But I expect this radar to be busier as we go throughout the afternoon. We are in a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather today, and mainly because some of these storms could pack a punch with some damaging winds. We also have a low tornado risk as well. Once we get to about 2 o'clock this afternoon is when I think we need to pay the closest attention, and things could really be busy through the early evening hours, past dinner time, even by 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. Main concern again for that damaging wind. There's also a low tornado risk this afternoon, as well as these storms, if they're out on their own, will have a better ability to rotate. I think the hail and the flooding threat is pretty low today. Nonetheless, we'll keep eyes on that. And I just want you to stay weather aware and pay attention this afternoon. If any warnings get issued, of course, we will pass those along to you. Just stay weather aware, keep an eye on the radar, and keep check on that News 2 radar app that you do have. Bottom line, it's humid no matter what happens with storms. Temperatures are back near 80 degrees this afternoon. Some of those showers, even a couple thunderstorms, may linger overnight into your Friday morning, but I actually think we're clearing out Friday afternoon. Rain chances come down on Saturday and Sunday, but the heat and the humidity is going to stick with us. And I mean, honestly, it's just muggy, muggy, muggy for several days to come. I mean, it's a very summer-like weather pattern here in the Carolinas.
Well, the big story this morning, Coach K announced his plans to retire. He'll coach one last season before hanging up his hat. And we want to know, what did you think of the retirement announcement? You can let us know in the comments section below. John Shire, a former Duke player and current assistant coach, will take over in 2022. Until then, it will be one of the last rides for the GOAT, Coach K, according to this tweet from current player Paulo Banchero. Melissa says, "This is what a broken heart feels like." Brad says, "I knew Coach K was going to retire at some point in my life, but I never realized just how incredibly sad the announcement would make me. Time for one more national championship." And Samuel writes, "I'm a UNC fan, but Coach K got all my respect, and college basketball will never be the same." We also heard from former UNC head coach Roy Williams, who also announced his retirement this year.
He's been a good friend. He's been a guy I've respected a great deal. He made everybody bring their A game for years and years and years. The only thing wrong with Mike Krzyzewski is he doesn't play golf, and that's the only thing wrong with him.
That's what I would say too.
I love that side from Coach Williams. But I mean, guys, to have both of these announcements just within the past few months coming back to back, you know, when you think of North Carolina, you think basketball, or at least that's what I did growing up. And then moving here, and you just know about both of those coaches. And the fact that both of them are retiring, it's just going to be the end of an era. I know we keep saying that, but really interested to see how these new coaches step into these roles. I mean, they have a lot to, you know, big shoes to fill for sure. And I think it's going to be an interesting time, but I'm looking forward to the future.
The comment you shared from Samuel mentioned a key word, and that is respect. Whether you are a Duke fan, a Carolina fan, another team's fan, or really not into basketball at all, I think anybody who knows something about Coach Williams and Coach K has respect for the time that they've invested into not only the game, but also the players, both on and off the court for decades now. They are legends in basketball, and the rivalry will never quite be the same. We've seen other legendary coaches, Dean Smith comes to mind, you know, come and go, and others take over and create names for themselves too, but it won't ever quite be the same as the friendly rivalry these two had with each other. And you heard Coach Williams make a joke about his golf game. So clearly these guys are friends off the court. I'm excited to see Coach K coach one final season. I do wonder if it's some kind of a redemption season, given that The Blue Devils didn't do so well last year, did not make it to the big dance. Rarely, is that the case? Granted, there were a lot of factors at play last year, including the COVID-19 pandemic and all those protocols and practices and games being cut short. So there were a slew of things that could have factored into this. But I know a lot of fans and even non-fans are hopeful that maybe they'll get one more title, or at least that Coach K will leave on a higher note than what he would have left last season, Christian.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe trying to go out on high note. Yeah. And I wonder how much coaching he will actually do this season, as opposed to maybe training up maybe John Shire a little bit more. Maybe he'll let him have a little more control of the reins. It'll be really interesting to see. But, like you said, the basketball landscape around here in the ACC, it's changing big time, not only with Coach K, but also with the announcement of Roy Williams a couple months ago.
Maybe App State will go a little farther with Coach K not in the picture, Christian.
I would be just fine with that. That would be wonderful.
All right, Stacey, a lot of great comments coming in here on our feed.
Yeah, Carol says she was shocked in all caps. Not a Duke fan, but she said he has been Coach K for as long as I remember. Bobby said he's sad. He's a Duke fan. Clorinda said it's time. Let's see what else. Bethany said greatest coach of all time. Very sad to see, but had to know it would happen eventually. But college basketball will never be the same. Angie said, I can't believe it will never be the same. I love Coach K. Joanne is so sorry to see him leave, but she's a Kentucky fan. And then Jason brought up something that I have seen a lot of people talking about. He said, not like him to make the announcement and the farewell tour. Now everyone giving him something at each game and take away from his team. A lot of people did talk about this on our Facebook page, I noticed, and online. A little kind of, I guess, frustrated that he's kind of having his farewell tour. So it's interesting that Jason brought up that point as well, that they don't want this season to be about his retirement, but to be another season, and hopefully the team will win.
Yeah, well, and we'll see. We have not heard Coach K explain this in his words yet, and we will hear from him at 11:30 this morning. He is giving a news conference to journalists, so we plan to bring that to you on the News 2 Facebook page and on our website, and then have an update on WFMY News 2 at noon. So we're all waiting to hear what he has to say, his reasoning behind this, why now, why this, what he hopes for the season to come. So we'll bring you the latest updates.
That's the thing, we haven't even heard him talk about it yet, and I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we heard from Roy Williams and we heard him give his piece and give his speech about it a whole lot quicker than this has happened. So it'll be really interesting to see what exactly Coach K himself actually says about it.
Yeah, I did love, however, and if you have a chance, I think it's on our website, the video of Coach K from the day that he was announced as Duke's head basketball coach back in 1980. WFMY News 2 was there, and to see him talk about the future of Duke basketball, I guess at the time Duke wasn't really known for its basketball team, and to see the legacy that he has created and left behind, or will leave behind. And I thought this was also interesting, that he started coaching when he was 33, I believe, at Duke, and the new coach is also 33 or in that same age. So excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, prior to this, he coached Army. A lot of people have been following his career from way back in West Point. So yes, his farewell tour, as people are calling it, will start soon, and we'll see what's to come. Much more on this, of course, throughout the day, but let's get to some of our other headlines before our second conversation. And we'll start with this. Governor Roy Cooper hopes vaccine incentives get our state past that 50% vaccinated benchmark soon. Several counties, including Guilford and Rockingham, started offering $25 cards in cash to anyone getting vaccinated this week. Right now, 38% of our entire state is fully vaccinated. That number jumps to 49 fully vaccinated when you look at just adults ages 18 and up. It would end the benefit booster. This Senate Bill 116 being considered by the North Carolina House. It proposes ending the extended unemployment benefits 30 days after becoming law, and also would forgive taxes on the first $10,200 people received in unemployment benefits last year. Lawmakers say a vote could come this afternoon. International headlines. Meat processing company JBS says it is scheduled to resume production at all of its facilities today. Remember, the company was hit with a ransomware attack over the weekend that forced some of its plants to close. The FBI attributed the attack to a Russian group called R-Evil. JBS is not saying whether it paid a ransom. A Massachusetts driver says his GPS app is to blame for this crash where his car ended up on a golf course. The driver told police his Waze app told him to take the turn. The car got stuck on the course and had to be towed out, but the driver was not hurt and there was no damage. Police say the moral of this story is to always keep your eyes on the roads, even when you are following GPS digital directions. A big day at the Greensboro Science Center. The new Revolution Ridge exhibit opens to members today and the public tomorrow. WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller got a sneak peek this morning.
Well, we are here at the Greensboro Science Center exploring their new exhibit, the Revolution Ridge. We got to see some flamingos and a cassowary, and I actually have Martha Register here with me, the Vice President of Education, to talk a little bit more about some of the new exhibits. So talk about where we are right now.
Sure, we hit all the early birds this morning. Now we're in the realm of curious cats. We're in the small cat complex, and we're surrounded by their world. We have 4 different kinds of cats. One's not quite here yet, but you'll be able to see fishing cats, we have a sand cat, and we have servals. So these are animals that people are not very familiar with. You know tigers, but have you ever heard of a sand cat? And they are smaller than your house cat. But right now we're with the exhibit for the serval, an animal that lives in African grassland savanna area, and they'll be able to climb from the inside out and onto a fabulous play area for them where you can see, and you can walk under them through their exhibit and explore. And then just beyond we have our red pandas, another good exploring exhibit for the animals and the public.
And so we know the animals aren't out right now. They will be later today. Just talk about some of the other exotic animals folks will get to see.
Well, of course, these join all of the other animals here at the Greensboro Science Center. The 9 exhibits that we're adding complement them, and you can see them all this summer, from the maned wolves and tigers to our tortoises and crocodile up in front, all the way down to these cats that hopefully will be out and about today in full form. And of course, for the kids, don't forget the farmyard animals.
All right. And I know that you all mentioned that you have an app where folks can actually learn some new facts about the new exhibits as well. Talk about that a bit.
We always want to blend science into the Science Center, and that includes the zoo and aquarium. So yes, we do bring technology, and you visit with a lot of technology in your pocket with a cell phone. So you'll be able to open one of our apps on certain icons we have placed in the zoo and bring to life one of our keepers telling you more about the animals, a lot more storytelling of their background than you can just read in a sign. So it's a lot of fun that we hope to enhance your visit.
Well, Martha, thank you for getting up early with us this morning to talk about the many exciting new exhibits that you all have here. Tickets go on sale for members today and tomorrow, Friday. Tickets will go on sale for the public, and this is very exciting, a great way for families to get back out after being stuck in the home for so long due to the pandemic. And we will continue to bring you updates and more information on these exhibits in our later newscast.
So a lot of new animals to check out at the Greensboro Science Center. Do you have a favorite animal to see, maybe at the Science Center or at the North Carolina Zoo? You can go ahead and let us know in the comments below. Megan, trying to think about my favorite animal to see. I can't decide, there's so many, but I have to say that any kind of water animal. I love otters, the penguins. I love seeing any kind of aquarium setting, you know, all the bright and colorful fish. Those are really cool. Sharks, dolphins, whales, all that kind of stuff. I mean, really just any animal at the zoo, I'm going to be thrilled to see.
And of course, the North Carolina Zoo has a lot more animals than the zoo at the Greensboro Science Center, but this expansion, this $15 million expansion, is really a big deal. Families have been highly anticipating this for years as we've seen this facility expand and become kind of a destination right here at home. My son loves the Science Center. He is obsessed with the alpacas. You heard Martha Register, the curator of education, mention the farm animals, the little petting zoo that they have in the barn in the zoo. So fun. Christian thinks they are hysterical when he gets up close to the alpacas and they sniff him. It's so funny to see. I'm excited to see the pygmy hippos here in this Revolution Ridge. The flamingos we saw earlier in Denise's live shot are amazing. learned a lot about those beautiful animals I didn't know, so that will be interesting. And I love this idea of the app that we mentioned that you can use to follow along and learn a little bit more about the animals than you can from just the little placards on their exhibit. So all in all, great for not only Greensboro, great for the Triad, and should be something wonderful to see.
Yeah, a lot of people have been weighing in on their favorite animals to see at zoos or at the Science Center. Heather says the red panda. Oh, those are so cute. Tamrika says all of them. I love to see all of the animals. I have to agree as well. Carol says she doesn't have young kids, but her grandkids love bears and tigers. Let's see. Jessica says don't really have a favorite. The best part to see is to see how excited my kids get. That's so sweet. Christian's is polar bears. That's cool. Jason says the chimpanzees. They are so interactive with each other and the guests at times. And let's see. Oh, Jason also said the grizzly bear. It's amazing to see how massive they are. Yeah, puts things into perspective when you're face to face with a grizzly bear.
Okay, Heather mentioned the red panda at the Greensboro Science Center. In all the times I've been there, which is a lot by now, I have never actually seen the red panda. He is always hiding, and I'm joking now that I don't think he even exists because he's never out when I'm there. But I got my son a little plush red panda, and he loves that. So maybe next visit is my visit to see that little guy. He better come out.
Yeah, he's just hiding from you guys. That's so funny. They're the cutest. You know, pandas are cute too, but the red pandas, I guess because they're so small and they're just cute and they're funny.
Yeah.
Bobby also loves the tigers.
Oh, yes. Tigers are wonderful to see at the Science Center. All right, well, as you noticed, Christian stepped out from this conversation because he's putting together more of your weather graphics because we have kind of an active weather pattern heading our way that could put us in the marginal risk for some severe storms, Christian.
Yeah, guys, really want to pay attention, especially as we go into the afternoon, mainly after about 2 o'clock. I actually think things could start to get a little bit busy across the area with those scattered thunderstorms. And the thing today is that some of those could really pack a punch on the strong or severe side. Main concerns this afternoon would be for a damaging wind gust in some of those storms, but there also is the low chance of a tornado as well. These storms, if they're off on their own, will have a little better chance to rotate. So we'll watch for that. I do think the hail and the flooding concern is pretty low today. But overall, we'll just watch that and keep our eyes on the radar. Just a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather today. But what I want you to do is continue to pay attention to the radar, pay attention to the skies if you're out and about. And of course, we'll be keeping you updated, and we'll also update you on that News 2 radar app as well. It's just hot and muggy regardless outside of storms, and that's not going to change for several more days to come. Some of those scattered showers and storms may linger overnight into your Friday morning, but I actually think Friday afternoon isn't a bad afternoon of weather. We start to clear things out a bit. The rain chances will come down over the weekend, but the heat and the humidity will continue to go up. So it will be hot and muggy for Saturday and Sunday, and then we're back into the upper 80s and close to 90 as we go into next week. So really no relief from the heat, no relief from the humidity. It really is starting to become that very summer-like weather pattern that we all know so well here in North Carolina.
We're just so dry. How are our rain totals looking, and will this help?
It will help some. You know, over the weekend, some folks actually got a pretty good soaking of rain, even close to an inch in some parts of Greensboro, but there were still folks who barely even got a drop. So some folks have been okay, some folks really need it. What we really need is just a good general across-the-board rainfall for yards and gardens and that kind of thing, but it just hasn't seemed like it's in the cards. So maybe today and tomorrow will be the lucky card for some folks.
We hope so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here on After GMS. We do this every day at 7:45 right here on the News 2 Facebook page.
Get out there and get to it. Make it a great day.